Earthquake disaster in Haiti. On Tuesday, January 12, 2010, an estimated 230,000 people lost their lives when a magnitude 7 earthquake struck the small Caribbean nation of Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. In addition to the staggering death toll, there was more than 300,000 injuries reported and nearly 1 million people were left homeless. The shaking from this earthquake was felt throughout Haiti and the Dominican Republic, as well as parts of nearby Cuba, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico. The earthquake's epicenter was only 9 miles away from the country's densely populated capital city of Port-au-Prince. Because the focus of the earthquake, the spot where the earthquake begins underground, was only 7 miles down, the shaking was exceptional for an earthquake of its size. Other factors that contributed to the Port-au-Prince disaster included the city's geological setting and the nature of its buildings. The city is not built on solid bedrock, but rather on loose sediment, soils, sands, and clay, which is more susceptible to ground shaking from earthquake waves. More importantly, inadequate or non-existent building codes meant that buildings collapsed far more rapidly than they should have. At least 52 aftershocks, measuring a 4.5 or greater on the Richter scale, jolted the area and added to the trauma survivors experienced for days after the original quake. What is most shocking is that a similar magnitude earthquake, 7.1 on the Richter scale, occurred in Southern California in 1989, but it only claimed 67 lives. Relief agencies from around the globe stepped in to distribute food and water and provide for the enormous medical security and social needs of the injured and homeless. For a lengthy period of time following the earthquake, the amount of damage to the roads, bridges, railways, airports, and buildings made it extremely difficult to deliver essential food, water, and medical assistance to survivors, the elderly, and the sick. Further deaths occurred after those who were seriously injured were unable to get the medical help they needed. This type of crisis is the ideal situation where disease can begin to spread and add other dangerous layer to an already terrible situation. Because the infrastructure of the country's computer network was largely unaffected, electronic media emerged as a useful mode for connecting those separated by the quake and for coordinating relief efforts. Survivors who were able to access the internet took to social networking sites such as Twitter and Facebook in search of information on those missing in the wake of the catastrophe. Feeds from these sites also assisted aid organizations in constructing maps of the areas affected and in determining where to channel resources. The many Haitians lacking internet access were able to contribute updates via text messaging on their cell phones. Haiti is still in the process of rebuilding from a tragedy that occurred almost 10 years ago. In the years following the quake, countries, including the United States, pledged billions of dollars to assist in their rebuilding efforts. These efforts have been hampered time and time again as Haiti has been struck by several strong tropical storms and hurricanes, impacting those who are still homeless from the 2010 earthquake. While many Haitians fled the country to seek a new start, many have stayed in hopes to restore the Haiti they once knew. As of 2017, the United Nations has reported that nearly 2.5 million Haitians were still in need of humanitarian aid, with at least 55,000 people still left homeless or living in makeshift tented shelters. While progress has been made, they still have a long way to go.